The key to a smooth running end of the year celebration is preparation. You want to start as early as possible. In fact, you want to start right now if you're planning on hosting Thanksgiving, if you're planning on hosting Christmas dinner, an end of the year party, or a New Year's Eve celebration. In this video, we're going to talk about how to plan a holiday party from start to finish. First, we're going to start off with how to plan and strategize your event. Second, we're going to talk about how to prepare your home. And third, we're going to walk through my 30-day holiday party prep checklist that will take you from 30 days out all the way until the day until the party and let you know what you need to be doing on each one of those days to pull off a flawless event. Hi, I'm Lindsay Diane from DianeDecor.com. Let's jump right into part one of this video, and it's all about strategizing and planning your party. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is to choose the event that you want to host. So there are a lot of options at the end of the year. You have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas, you have just general end of the year celebrations. You also have actual Christmas dinner, and there's New Year's Eve. So decide which event you want to host. This is going to start narrowing down that timeline for you, and it's going to help you select a date for your event. Of course, if you're thinking you want to host for Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner or New Year's Eve, this date is a no-brainer. Thanksgiving falls on Thanksgiving, Christmas falls on Christmas, and New Year's Eve, of course, falls on the last day of the year. But if you're planning just a general Christmas party or a broad end of the year celebration for your friends or family or coworkers, you have a little bit of wiggle room there. You could host those events at pretty much any time in December leading up to Christmas. So start by selecting a tentative week and then move on to your guest list. Now, with your guest list, you want to send out some general feelers. You want to see when people are going to be available. Now, you don't want to do this for every single person you intend to invite. You only want to do this with the people that are like must-attends, must-haves at your event. So whether it's your mom or your brother or your best friend, the people that you would not want to host an event without, ask them first to check on their availability before you start sending out invitations, because you can always make adjustments for them if you really want this person present. The next thing you'll want to do is to figure out whether or not this is going to be a small, intimate gathering, a medium-sized party, or even a larger event that you may need to host outside of your home. Who's coming? Who do you want to be there? What type of activity do you want to have? If you think that this is going to be something for maybe 20 or more people, you may consider having a venue outside of your home. If this is a smaller gathering that maybe 10, 15 people or less than that, then you may be able to comfortably accommodate all of those people in your home. So decide whether you want something small and intimate or whether you want something that can accommodate lots of folks, and the more the merrier, and let that be your starting point, because that's really going to inform your budget. It's going to help you know how many people you can invite, and it will help shape your guest list. Once you've decided whether or not you're going to need a venue and a rough number of people that you're going to host, you can start estimating your cost. Without either one of those things, you're going to be totally in the weeds. So take care of those two first, because they're going to inform everything else. The amount of food that you need, the amount of drinks that you need, desserts, decorations, seating, all of those sorts of things really just depend on the number of people that you're going to host and whether or not this is going to be in your home or whether it's going to be at a venue that may have some of the things you need available to you with a package deal. If you start estimating the cost of your party and you realize this is going to be way too much, you can always scale back. You can always change the setup of the party. You can do things like, okay, instead of me having 20 people, I'm going to invite 10. Or instead of me providing all of the food, I am going to ask everyone to BYOB. Or I'm going to do it potluck style. I'm going to ask everyone to bring a dish. Or I'm going to ask guests to either bring a drink or a dessert. Decide what you want to do to make the event affordable for you. You can always scale back at this point because you haven't formally invited anyone yet. You're not setting any expectations for anyone other than yourself. So go ahead and decide a rough number of people, decide whether or not you need a venue, and then start estimating the cost. You can estimate the cost for both of them and just compare. But with those numbers, you're going to start walking through what you're going to need and how much it's going to cost you, and decide whether you're going to proceed with that route or not. If you're going to host your party at a venue, that venue booking fee is probably going to be your largest cost. So shop around, look at some alternatives, and try to get that number to a place that is okay for you. If you are not going with a venue, you can move right on to estimating how much food and drink you're going to need and estimate some costs from there. I do have a menu planning cheat sheet that I'm going to link down in the description below. It's a PDF. You can download it or print it off. It's going to help you decide how many of each thing you need. So let me walk you through some of these figures. If you are planning on serving 1 to 4 guests, this is a small, intimate gathering. 1 to 4 guests, you're going to need 1 main dish, 3 side dishes, 2 desserts, and 2 bottles of wine. That's optional if you're planning to serve alcohol, and 1 non-alcoholic beverage. If you are serving 5 to 8 guests, you'll need 1 appetizer, 2 main dishes, 4 side dishes, 3 desserts, 4 to 5 bottles of wine, and 2 non-alcoholic beverage options. 9 to 12 guests is a good mid-sized party, and you're going to want at least 2 different appetizer options, 2 to 3 main dishes, 4 side dishes, a salad, 4 desserts, 6 to 7 bottles of wine, and 3 non-alcoholic beverage options. A larger party of 13 to 16 guests, this is probably the max that I would do at my house, because you also want to pad for maybe some uninvited guests or unexpected guests, somebody you may have forgotten to invite at the last minute and decide, hey, I'm having this weekend, why don't you come on by? I always like to leave a little bit of room for that. So for me, more than 20 people is going to be a little bit tight in the house. So I might stick to a guest list of 13 to 16 and leave 4 or 5 open for optional guests. So 13 to 16 guests. You're looking at 3 appetizers, 3 main dishes, 6 side dishes, a salad, 6 desserts, 9 to 10 bottles of wine, and at least 3 non-alcoholic beverage options. Now, if you're wondering about the wine math, this is how you figure it out. Take the number of guests that you have, divide it by 5 servings. This is the average amount of servings in a bottle of wine. This is going to tell you how many bottles you need. Now, you are going to multiply the number of bottles you need by the party hours. So if you're planning to host people for 3 hours, multiply the number of bottles times 3, and that's going to get you your total. If you're hosting people for 4 hours, multiply by 4, and that's going to give you the number of bottles you need. I will link below to some other resources if you want to calculate for beer or for hard liquor. That one's a little bit dicier because everyone's pour is a little bit different. But in general, it's safe to estimate, have bottles of wine on hand. That's usually what most people do. And so I wanted to include that in the video. So now that you know how much of everything you need, you can then work backwards and start to plan your actual menu and decide what you want to offer. You know, am I going to do brisket? Am I going to do chicken? Am I going to do lasagna or pasta dishes? You can switch up your menu to accommodate your budget once you know how many of each thing you're going to need, right? So some things are expensive. If you want to have it catered from your favorite barbecue place, that might be a little bit pricey. So you might want to have that as maybe only one of your main dishes instead of all of your main dishes, and make something that goes far, like a lasagna, that's relatively inexpensive to make and will make a lot of it, and have that be another main dish option. So you see how you can kind of adjust it any way you like, or you can, again, divvy it up. If you want a party co-host, or if you want to ask guests to bring desserts, or ask them to bring a bottle of wine, or ask them to do potluck and everybody bring a small dish and do it like that, you can. When it comes to preparing your home for a holiday party, or really any party where you're going to be hosting lots of people, you want to, of course, give your home a deep cleaning. Now, this can take quite some time, especially if you have to fit it in between, work and soccer and school and all of these things that you may be juggling. You might have to chip away at this list a little by little. Or of course you can call a housekeeping service, but I think for a lot of us, we tend to want to do the deep cleaning stuff ourselves so that it's the way that we like it. And so it will take some time, and give yourself a full month to go ahead and knock out this list. Again, if you have, it really depends on when you deep clean your home. For me, I like to do it in the spring, and I like to do it right before the holiday season when I know we'll have lots of people coming in and out of the house. But if you've recently done it in the summer, you might not have to do all of these things on the list. It really depends on when you've last tackled some of these areas of your home. So I'm going to give you the list that I usually go through when I do my deep cleaning, and just try to go through your home, take a look, see what needs to be done, and decide from there, am I going to try to bang this all out in one weekend, or am I going to chip away at it week after week after week throughout the month of November, so that when December comes, I'm ready to go. My house is deep cleaned. This is just a general tidy and maintenance that has to happen up until the party from here. So here's my list. I clean my baseboards. I wipe down all of the interior doors and door frames. I dust my blinds. I clean the interior windows and sills. I wipe down light switches and outlets. I clean out kitchen cabinets and I organize the pantry. I clean cabinet fronts. I deep clean all of the appliances. So my oven, my dishwasher, my garbage disposal, my stovetop, all of those things get a good deep clean. You'll also want to wash your guest linens. Whether or not you're expecting to have anyone overnight, it's just a good practice. You never know what's going to happen, especially during the holiday season when people are traveling. There may be flights delayed and flights canceled, and somebody needs a place to stay. You want to be ready. So go ahead and wash your guest linens, and go ahead and deep clean or descale your coffee pot. In addition to your deep cleaning, the next thing that you'll want to do is tackle your fix-it list. So go through your house, any of those little nuisance home maintenance tasks that you've been putting off, take care of them. So things like if there are light bulbs out that need to be replaced, go ahead and replace those. If there are air filters that need to be changed, replace those. Water filter in the fridge, replace that if the little light is flashing and beeping at you. Batteries inside of smoke detectors. Hopefully you're not living with the chirping, but if you happen to be, or see that some of the batteries are going to go soon, do all those little home maintenance tasks now, and get them out of the way so that everything runs smoothly the day of your event. Another thing you may want to do is look for slow draining sinks. That's one of those things that we often ignore over time. You just kind of get used to it, but when you have guests in your home that may be using your bathroom sink or the shower drain or things like that, go ahead and make sure that all of those are clear so that everyone has a great experience while they're in your home. If you're going to be doing a lot of cooking, you might also want to take this time to sharpen your knives and get that out of the way, because you may be doing lots of chopping, carving turkey, carving chickens, things like that. Get all of your cooking gear ready to go so that you aren't fussing around with it at the last minute. Okay, so at this point you have now gone through all of your party strategy. You know what type of event you're going to host. You know roughly when you're going to host it and how many people you're going to host. You have a rough idea of how much it's going to cost because you know the number of dishes that you're going to need. You're going to know whether or not you're going to have a venue. All of those things are taken care of. You also know the things that need to be done for your home maintenance and for your deep cleaning. So now you are rolling into the last 30 days before your party. Here's what you want to do. So 30 days out, you are going to choose a firm time and date for your event. You're going to send out your invitations. At this point, you may also want to stock up on paper products that you may need for your party. So if you are doing paper plates, napkins, you're probably going to need paper towels, anything disposable that you may need for your party, you should start ordering or purchasing now. You'll also want to make sure that that deep cleaning checklist is tackled. If you haven't started it yet, you still have plenty of time. You can start it right now. So 2 weeks out from the party is the time where you really want to start gathering your recipes, creating a shopping list, and fine-tuning your menu for the event. You'll also want to tackle that home maintenance checklist if you haven't already. So make sure your yard is tidy, make sure that your home is well lit outside, that you don't have any outdoor light bulbs that are out. Make sure that your light bulbs inside the home are changed. Make sure you address any slow draining sinks. If there's a tile that's broken, that's kicked up that you need to fix, or something like that in the home that may become a hazard for a guest, make sure you take care of all of those things at least 2 weeks before the party. The other thing that you'll want to do is to take inventory of your serveware and of your glassware. So a lot of times we may combine disposable paper products with our regular glasses, especially when it comes to adults and adults drinking alcoholic beverages. You may often want to use your nice champagne flutes or your wine glasses in addition to having disposable, paper plates or something like that. So make sure that you have enough. A great place to pick up inexpensive stemware if you're just trying to fill in is Dollar Tree. You can get like a case of champagne flutes for like $12 at Dollar Tree, or the price has gone up a little bit now, but assume it's going to be very inexpensive. If you need just a few more glasses to fill in, go ahead and get them inexpensively. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You also want to make sure that you have enough serveware. So these are your big platters, your big bowls. Again, you don't necessarily have to buy brand new ones from Pottery Barn or William and Sonoma. You can very well buy some plastic or disposable ones if you'd like. Just make sure that you have enough to be able to serve everyone out of. If you are using, let's say, chafing dishes and you're using the disposable aluminum trays, make sure that you're stocked up on those. Make sure that you have your gel fluid if you are using the little burners that go underneath. All of those things you want to take an inventory of and stock up on if you need it. 1 week before your party is the time to start planning your party layout. Where's everything going to be held? Are you going to have your food along this counter? Are you going to have a beverage station over here? Where are you going to have people gather their plates and their napkins and their bowls? Things like this. Start to lay out the party within your space or within your venue space if you're able to go and preview it. The other thing that you'll want to do is get your final guest list count so that you know exactly how many people are going to be there, so that when you go to the store and start purchasing items, you're sure that you have enough. 1 week before, you'll want to purchase any of your specialty or alcoholic beverages. During the holiday season, stores are packed, especially liquor stores. They can get chaotic, and you don't want to wait until the last minute to hunt down something special for your dad or your grandpa or whatever they like to drink. Get that stuff at least a week ahead of time. Put it in your pantry, put it away. Nothing's going to happen to it. It's not going to go bad. It's good to get that out of the way. It's also probably a larger expense, so it's good to take care of that. And then you can also, again, as you go, if you still need to, adjust your budget as you go for some of these other things. But if that's something that's important to you, make sure that that's taken care of first. You'll also want to go ahead and purchase your decorations and do any of your last minute lawn care. Doing your lawn care ahead of time is especially important if you are planning on doing something like mulching your front flower beds. Mulch can really stink sometimes, and you'd never want to do that like the day of your party or even the day before. You want to leave that at least 2 or 3 or more days ahead of time. So a week ahead of time to have your lawn cut, have your flower beds trimmed up, your hedges shaped up, and have everything mulched is a good time to do it. Two days before your party is your shopping day. This is when you want to buy all of the groceries that you're going to need to make your dishes. You're also going to want to take this time to assemble any party bags or party gifts if you're planning to give out something like that. You'll also want to do an express clean of your home. So take a power hour, go through all of your rooms, make sure everything is tidy and ready to go. And from then on out, it's just kind of a maintain your space game until your party. One day before your event is when you are going to do your final party preparations. So you're getting up as many decorations as you can. You are going to arrange your seating. You're going to stage your food and beverage area. So start laying out your trays and your platters empty in the spaces where you want them. If you have multiple like drink dispensers or something like that, make sure those are set up. Make sure that they're elevated properly. Make sure that you have room to put your cups next to them. Start doing this now so that you know that everything is spaced out really well. And then later on, all you're doing is putting the food in the dishes. You'll also want to prep as much food as possible the day before. This is just like Thanksgiving. As much as you can do the day before, do it. You don't want to be doing a ton of cooking the day of your event because you never know what could go wrong. So anything that can be made ahead, do it. Any chopping, slicing, dicing that can be done, do it. Preparation for little appetizers, things like that can keep overnight, go ahead and do all of those the day before. So let's say you have something like you want a little slice of baguette with a cream cheese spread that's like seasoned. Make the spread ahead of time. Don't slice the baguette until the day of, but you can let that spread be in your fridge, marinating, ready to go. Because if anything, that's what's going to take you the most amount of time, is preparing that spread or that dip or whatever it is. So if you know that you can prepare something and it will keep just fine, go ahead and do that the day before. The day of your party, go ahead and prepare your final menu options or pick them up from the caterers if that's what you're doing. So your main dish, meats, you're going to make those. You're going to bake or reheat any of your side dishes, and you're going to assemble your appetizers. and start to lay out desserts. You can probably take some of that stuff out in stages depending upon when you're going to start your party. But these are the things that you want to do on the day of. Again, you don't want to overwhelm yourself on the day of the party because you want to be able to enjoy your party. You want to be able to give yourself plenty enough time for you as the hostess or host to get ready, to be dressed up, to feel good, to not be rushing, and to know that everything is taken care of and everything looks beautiful. You've done all of the prep, and so now is the time for you to really enjoy your party and enjoy your guests. A couple of hours before your party, you're going to put your beverages on ice. You're going to give another quick express clean to your guest bathroom, and you're going to put up any final party decorations that couldn't be put up before. The day of your party is all about your friends and your family and you guys celebrating whatever it is you're gathering to celebrate, so enjoy it. The only thing that needs to be done at the end of the night is to put away any food that may spoil. Honestly, I don't go crazy about doing a ton of party cleanup. I like to get the floors cleaned, food put away, and that's about it. Anything else can be tackled another day. The day after your party, you should rest and enjoy your leftovers and celebrate yourself. Watch a movie, hang out, enjoy time with your family. A few days later, you may consider sending out a thank you text message or a thank you little electronic greeting to your guests. I mean, it really depends on how you invited them. So if you send everybody text to, come on over, then send a thank you that way. If you sent a digital invitation, send a thank you that way. I know not many of us send paper cards anymore, but it is nice to thank your friends and your family for taking the time out of their busy schedule to come spend it with you at your home and with your family. It's always a really nice gesture. That's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget to check the description box below. I'm going to leave a link for my 30-day checklist as well as my meal estimator cheat sheet. I'll leave that link down there below as well. Don't forget to visit me at dianedecor.com. I post all about home entertaining and decorating on a budget over there. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.